In Judaism, the concept of the apocalypse is not as pronounced as it is in some other religious traditions. However, there are eschatological beliefs and teachings about the end of days, or the Messianic Age. These ideas are derived from various Jewish texts, including the Hebrew Bible, Rabbinic literature, and other writings. Here's an overview. Messianic Age in Judaism. The concept of the Messiah is central to Jewish eschatology. The Messiah is anticipated as a future, righteous leader from the lineage of King David. This individual is expected to embody qualities of wisdom, compassion, and adherence to God's commandments. The Messiah is seen as a figure who will bring about the redemption of the Jewish people and the establishment of God's kingdom on earth. The Messianic Age is envisioned as a time of profound transformation and renewal. It is characterized by universal peace, justice, and knowledge of God. One of the Messianic expectations is the ingathering of Jewish exiles from various parts of the world. The Messiah is believed to play a key role in the re-establishment of the Jewish people in their ancestral homeland, Israel. The Messianic Age is anticipated as a time when oppression and injustice will cease. The Messiah is expected to lead a movement for the liberation of the oppressed and the establishment of a just and righteous society. The Messianic Age is often described as an age of perfection, where the imperfections and struggles of the current world will be replaced by divine order and tranquility. It is believed that during this time, the potential for spiritual growth and connection to God will be fully realized. Some traditions within Jewish eschatology anticipate the rebuilding of the Third Temple in Jerusalem during the Messianic Age. The temple is viewed as a symbol of divine presence and a focal point for worship. One of the overarching themes of the Messianic Age is the global acknowledgement of God's rule. It is anticipated that all nations will come to recognize the sovereignty of God, leading to an era of unprecedented harmony. Resurrection of the dead. Some Jewish traditions anticipate a resurrection of the dead as part of the Messianic Age. This resurrection is viewed as a triumph over death, signaling a future where the righteous will be rewarded with renewed life in the presence of God. Views on resurrection in Judaism may vary, but certain traditions hold that the resurrection involves a physical restoration of the deceased. The bodies of individuals are reanimated, and they are granted a new existence. The resurrection of the dead is often linked to the Messianic redemption. It is seen as a key component of the transformative events that will take place during the arrival of the Messiah and the establishment of the Messianic Age. The resurrection of the dead is closely tied to the idea of divine judgment. The belief in the resurrection of the dead provides hope and consolation, especially in the face of mortality. It affirms that death is not the end but rather a transition to a future state in which the righteous will experience eternal life. The Day of Judgment. In Jewish eschatology, there is a belief in a future day of judgment when God will assess the actions and deeds of individuals. God's judgment is not solely based on outward actions but also takes into account the intentions and motivations behind those actions. The sincerity and purity of one's heart are considered in the assessment of deeds. The judgment serves as a pivotal moment when God's justice is fully realized, and the righteous are vindicated. The decisions made on the Day of Judgment are considered final and irrevocable. They determine the eternal destiny of each individual, marking the conclusion of earthly life and the beginning of the afterlife. Despite the emphasis on judgment, there is also a sense of hope for redemption. The righteous are hopeful of God's mercy and the fulfillment of promises associated with the Messianic Age and the world to come. War of Gog and Magog. The War of Gog and Magog is a concept found in certain Jewish eschatological traditions, particularly in texts like the Book of Ezekiel. It describes a great apocalyptic conflict that precedes or coincides with the arrival of the Messiah and the Messianic Age. The primary scriptural reference for the War of Gog and Magog is found in Ezekiel 38-39. These chapters depict a coalition of nations led by Gog, a mysterious figure, coming against the people of Israel in a climactic battle. According to the prophecy, Gog and his allies will invade the land of Israel, posing a significant threat to the Jewish people. The invasion is described as a massive and unprecedented conflict with dire consequences. The outcome of the war is marked by divine intervention. God intervenes on behalf of Israel, defeating the forces of Gog and demonstrating his power and protection of his chosen people. The War of Gog and Magog is sometimes regarded as a pre-Messianic event, setting the stage for the arrival of the Messiah. Beyond its apocalyptic imagery, the War of Gog and Magog is often seen as conveying ethical and spiritual lessons. It underscores the importance of faith, divine protection, and the ultimate triumph of God's will over the forces of chaos. Olam Habah, world to come. Olam Habah, translated as the world to come, is a concept in Jewish eschatology referring to an eternal and spiritual realm that follows the Messianic Age. It represents the ultimate destination for the righteous, where they experience closeness to God. Olam Habah is characterized by its spiritual and transcendent nature. It is often depicted as a realm where the soul exists in a state of perpetual connection with the divine, unencumbered by the limitations of the physical world. The world to come is considered the reward for the righteous who have lived virtuous lives, followed God's commandments, and demonstrated faith and obedience. It is a place of ultimate joy and fulfillment. Olam Habah is described as a realm free from suffering, pain, and sorrow. The righteous, having been purified through divine judgment and redemption, enter into a state of eternal bliss and serenity. The world to come is marked by an unparalleled manifestation of God's presence and wisdom. The righteous are granted a deeper understanding of divine truths and experience the fullness of God's glory. The concept of Olam Habah serves as a source of hope and aspiration for believers. It encourages a focus on righteous living, moral conduct, and spiritual growth, with the anticipation of an eternal reward in the world to come. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.